and techie Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
In a game of 79 boundaries, of 41 fours and 38 sixes, with 287, the highest T20 franchise score was followed by 262, among the highest scores ever in the league, and yet in a losing cause. On a day of absolute madness and power hitting that we have never seen before, it ends at the Chinnaswamy. Thank God for all those who bowl a ball that it ends at the Chinnaswamy. RCB's 262 is among the top 5 scores, and shockingly, it's in a losing cause. We saw that 277 against Mumbai from Hyderabad, and Mumbai responded with 246. Since then, Kolkata have posted 272, Hyderabad have posted 287, Bengaluru have posted 262. What a day, what a game. And we try and unpack it all on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout in the company of 2 fast bowlers whose playing days are behind them. They are thankful for it. Wasim, Jaffer as well. And I remember after that Sunrisers Mumbai game, you said something that stayed with me when Mumbai got 246. And you said that'll probably be the second highest score for the tournament.
Yeah, how wrong was I?
Yeah, but at that point I said, yeah, that's a good chance. We'll go through a whole season and no other team will score more than 240. What we're seeing is, yes, we expect things to, power hitting to take it to the next level. What have we witnessed today?
Oh, geez, today, it was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Wasim putting his hand up. He wants to say something. Please, as a batting coach.
At the start of the show, we discussed that Siraj will be upset and disappointed that he was dropped. I'm sure he's not disappointed. He's happy today that he didn't play this game.
Very good.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Well done, Wasim.
Very
Yeah.
good.
In fairness though, from an RCB point of view, you scored 262. Batting's not the problem.
No, the approach to batting perhaps is something that you can look at rather than saying the batting is not a problem. The approach to it and playing with freedom. I know the ground and the pitch play its part in the scores, right?
Yes.
But we're seeing from Travis Head the template of how teams are going to more and more look to structure their batting with aggression. Every team is different, I know that. But Virat played with freedom, Faf played with freedom, and DK did what DK
Even what DK did is, I think, more than what we expect that DK can do. He's supposed to be retiring. Their best player this season is going to be retiring.
Retiring after the World Cup. Is that right?
Stop it.
He generally has 1 or 2 days like that in the IPL.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
He's had more than 1 or 2 though. Right?
In a season.
Like 80. No, in this season, in 4 games.
Good.
Adwankili was good.
Four?
Yeah, very good.
Reverse sweeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it here, he's back. He's back.
Who's back?
DK, he's back, mate.
Back for whom?
Oh, look, he's back in the frame. He's back in the frame.
Say it. I want to hear you say the whole
He's
sentence.
back in the frame for
Say
the
the whole
World Cup,
sentence.
mate.
So you're saying Dinesh Karthik has,
No,
if he doesn't want to,
has
put his name back in the World Cup selection.
No, but it's just awesome to see him back playing that way. Last year, obviously he struggled quite a bit, and he was wondering whether he'd pull stumps off the back of a bad season, and it's just so nice that he's going to be able to go out, being the DK that we remember. It's just been phenomenal so far, and geez, I reckon he's got 2 or 3 more of those innings in
I
it.
was going to say, forget 2 or 3 innings. This is what I said at the last DK performance. There's no reason for him to retire. He goes into that auction, either he gets retained or he goes into the auction. But what we're seeing from Dinesh Karthik, by his own standards also, this is, I'm thinking, exceeding that.
He has this ability. There's no doubt about it. When he's switched on, when he's playing like that, that's why I'm saying he has those freak days where he does anything and it comes off. And today was one of them. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Can we say, though, that in spite of conceding 262, Sunrisers actually bowled well, Ian Bishop? They did, didn't they?
There are things I liked about some of the bowling. Makande was impactful in picking up a couple of wickets. Pat Cummins has this ability and taking the scoring into context. I think Cummins is having an outstanding season, the way he uses the slower short ball and then supplements it occasionally with a good Yorker. So I think there were some good things that came out of their bowling group. There are some things they'll still like to work on. if you're scoring 270 and 280 and the team is scoring 240 and 260, I think as a bowling unit, you'd say to yourself, how can we be better?
Yeah. Let's talk about that Pat Cummins slow ball. It's become a thing of great value for them. For a bowler who's obviously added it in recent years. He wasn't this Pat Cummins, the bowler earlier on, which for KKR in the IPL. And what we are seeing on a regular basis now, why is it, the key here, I guess, is ignore 10.75 as an economy.
Yeah.
He's got 3 wickets. He's got Faf du Plessis, who was striking at 200 plus. He's come back and picked up another couple of wickets. He's ensured that Sunrisers end up on the right side of this result. What is it about this Pat Cummins slow ball that is effective on a day where, 500 runs have been scored?
Yeah, look, it's great for Pat, obviously, that he's had the confidence to bowl it, and I think the rule change has definitely helped that. So let's touch on that first. You can bowl the 2 slow ball bouncers now, so it means that you can err on that shorter side. So in terms of his slow ball bouncer compared to other guys, I guess the length first. He's getting a lot higher than most of the other guys trying to bowl it. But what he does is he actually bowls it like a spinner. So quite often you see, I've got this little ball. Quite often you see guys who bowl their slow balls, the seam rotates side to side.
Yeah.
So it can hit the shiny side and just skid on and not get up. Pat's actually changing his grip at the top. You can see it in his load up. He's actually bowling it like a spinner, so it's coming out with the seam coming down the wicket like that. So it actually, when it does hit the wicket, it grips on the seam, and that's what's making his slow ball stop more than other people's slow ball bouncer. He's just consistently hitting the seam, and the seam's getting that purchase in that wicket, which is making it even more effective, more stoppy, and get a bit more lateral movement than most other people's slow ball bouncer.
That is a tougher slow ball bouncer to bowl short, I guess. I think there are those that might toss it up and try and deceive the batter with a full slow ball.
Yeah.
But this is a tough ball, and with Pat Cummins...
It's actually really simple because all it is just a slight change in your grip position. Instead of most guys hold the ball there and think that you've got to deceive it and go sideways with the seam, you're actually just turning a little bit more in your hand like a spinner, drop that finger and almost like a one finger slow, like a spinner, one finger. So it's actually really easy to bowl. You just need to change the seam slightly in your hand and not worry too much about people seeing your grip when you drop the finger down the ball. If you watch Pat Cummins, that's what he does. He just expects that when it does hit the surface, even if you do pick it, that it's going to deceive you enough off the surface. And he bowls it hard. So it's always fine if you miss it on the shorter side, as long as you're bowling it hard. It's people who bowl the slow balls that you don't bowl it hard, you just get the side revs and it floats out. Those are the ones which are getting
Because you can actually wait for it.
You can wait
and judge its pace better than when he goes
where he goes there and you stop on the shot. So that's why it's been so effective. But you're right, he's changed his game. The Pat Cummins that we saw in previous IPLs for KKR relied predominantly on his Yorker, and he was trying to hit you in front. He was trying to hit the base of the stumps. And we're just seeing a completely different, a far better tactical bowler this time around in the IPL.
But that's a good thing, though. That means that here's a guy who is so experienced, who's been around international cricket, is still evolving as a player and finding ways to improve his game and out-trick batsmen.
Well, a really good point, because you touched on Bumrah before this game, and you're saying, why is Bumrah so good? Because he gets ahead of the batter. Who was it? It was Surav.
Sort of Chauhan, the Yorker.
Chauhan, the Yorker. Mm-hmm. So he would have been thinking that he's going to go slower ball into the wicket or back of a length, comes round the wicket, first ball, and bowls that steering Yorker. And this is what we're talking about. The good bowlers, the good IQ bowlers, will actually go, what's he expecting? I'm going to bowl the opposite to him first ball. And that was case in point. And it was up to 10 overs where I think Sunrisers won the game today. Yeah. Tactically, they were just so much better.
I've always said that the fast bowlers are the brains of any organization. So.
If I remember correctly, it was RCB that went to the penultimate bid for Pat Cummins at the auction. He pulled out because of a lack of funds and eventually had to pick up Alzari Joseph and others. A number of their big profile signings have not played today, but that's a deeper discussion later. Mayank Markande also left his mark on this, and that's the other aspect we've spoken of. A point of difference in this kind of game at this kind of ground can often be wrist spinner.
Yeah, I think he was probably the best spinner on show. There was not many spinners there anyway, but I thought he bowled good lines. He deceived the batters with that googly, with the lack of pace, and I thought he used his pace very wisely, and he got those crucial 2 wickets, Virat Kohli being one, and I thought he bowled well. He attacked the stumps. I don't know if it was the right thing, but he did that, and yeah, got those 2 wickets.
JM, I take your questions now at this point on our YouTube Live. JM says, is it still concerning for SRH? While they are scoring runs, they're conceding a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would think. Saying it's, I don't know if concerning is the word, but I said it just now and I stand by it, that there are things that you're going to look at. Even though you've won the game, the coach and the captain will still be looking at ways. Makande bowled well, as Wasim said. Cummins himself bowled well. Bhuvi went for 60. There are a couple of other guys.
Yep. Unadkat was expensive.
Unadkat was expensive. Abhishek bowled 1 over for 10. Natarajan 1 for 47. That's not too bad. Shabazz 1 for 18. So where can we tighten up? Because we know a couple of guys are doing well.
Yeah, I mean, every game that they've scored 200 plus. The KKR game, the opening one, where they fell short. MI, and now this one. They've also conceded well over 200.
I think sometimes you're a product of the environment, and I think the environment was created from Travis Head today.
Yeah.
The way he went about it, it just made every batter come in and think that you could hit and you could clear the rope. And I would say that if they only got 195, I think we would have seen their economy rates considerably lower, because the belief that batters get off the back of a total like that. And I think we would have seen a different result. It's so funny like that, isn't it? Every time you see a big score, what are we expecting? Sunrisers to bowl them out for 160? Like it's a really difficult one to.
But we've seen that though. We've seen that when a high score and a team capitulate, whether it's because they play too many shots. I would think if I'm captaining a team and we score 200 and whatever, we know that the other team is going to come out firing. So in this situation, on this occasion, I want my bowlers to give me of their best and match the uptick from the batting opposition.
Yeah. I mean, Virendra Sehwag, when he used to captain, used to say, if we've scored 300, they'll also score 280 at least. Whereas a lot of batting captains used to think, if we've scored 300, the bowlers have to now dismiss them for 150. So I guess it's telling of the situation of the game that you will see them concede. They have also managed to keep teams to less than 180 and still win, have Sunrisers. Couple of quick questions. Who wants to be a bowler is the theme of the questions over there. There is quite a bit of it. I don't know how much of it is serious and how much is tongue-in-cheek, but A22 says DK is surely a serious consideration of the World Cup. Shivang says, can DK be persuaded to play in the World Cup? Perspective says, more contenders for the T20 World Cup squad should DK come out of retirement. You can see the theme developing, so why don't you put that into perspective? Wasim?
No, I don't think so, in my opinion.
All right, simple as that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's move on.
All right. Has this? Well, I mean, it's brilliant. Let's see. Who knows? What else do we have? There are some questions about what RCB can learn from this for the long run, and whether they need to once again go into an auction and give themselves the chance to get as many specialist bowlers. Well, that is the theme we've discussed, haven't we? I mean, what's your takeaway from this from an RCB? I feel sorry for the RCB fan right now, because you're still. I mean, that was a brilliant start. They were actually ahead of the game at the end of the power play, and maybe a few overs after that as well. You're not going to win too many though. With that bowling.
Long term, I mean, that's a really big question. We've spoken about that quite a lot. We did a rundown on it, didn't we? So it's maybe a question for towards the end of the season, but I think right now the question I need to look at today's performance and go, each of our bowlers, what can we do to go for one less boundary or one less boundary and over, and get that economy from 13 and over to 9.5s and over? Because 9.5s as a bowler at Chinnaswamy is potentially like a match-winning spell. We saw it the other night. We saw Patirana last night in a high-scoring game again just not go for as many boundaries as the other guys. And it's as simple as that. It's one ball. It might be two balls in your spell that you can be more defensive or execute a little bit more.
Okay.
Your thoughts on that, Bish? I know you.
Can I go? I see.
No,
I see
go
you
on.
already shifting the topic to somewhere
You're in
else.
charge,
already.
man. Not me.
Not on this occasion. I'm in the Caribbean. No, I agree. I agree with that. But it goes back to something that we talked about, Jasprit Bumrah, earlier. And as a coach yourself, the passing of that same information, that know-how that you have acquired over your years of playing, not only in the IPL, but playing international cricket, and having that chat with some of those guys, whether it's Mitch McClenaghan, whether it's Jasprit Bumrah, whether it's Pat Cummins, those sorts of chats. And it's okay saying that's what they can do, but how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we did acknowledge the point that they played their 2 overseas bowlers today, something that the panel's been calling for a while. But at the same time, they needed 4 overs from part-time spin, which didn't quite solve the purpose. Even though Will Jacks was economical, like you rightly said, they missed the chance to have a strike bowler bowling to Travis Head. Something is just not, it's never ticking all the bowling boxes.
Yeah.
All right. This is a great last question to take from Gautam as well as Marvin Kai. Is the Chinnaswamy pitch the worst in the country? What's the point of pitches like this? I like this. This is a slightly different, this is the bowler perhaps at wherever you play, Marvin. And there's also Gautam saying, why don't RCB move to a different pitch? I'd say they should move to a different ground. Go to Alur or go to somewhere else, bigger boundaries, little seaming conditions maybe, and maybe there's a chance there. Any takers?
I actually would want all the bowlers in one room, and the curator then comes into that room and
As a polite word.
Yeah, and then I want to say
You're on fire today, Mr. Jaffer.
for the fast bowlers greet him
Yeah.
today.
Is it something they can rectify, though? Can they? I mean, we talked in the green room about how the pitch used to play back in 16, 17, 18, or whatever the case is.
There's that 1 year where it was an anomaly, where it played slowly,
Yeah.
which is almost unusual to the usual character of the Chinnaswamy pitch.
But it definitely brought back some contest between bat and ball. Remember bowling on and thinking, okay, I can bowl a slow ball here. So I can bowl a ball that will induce a miss hit, will get you to toe the ball, get you to inside edge the ball, get you to mistime it. And there was, if you got it wrong and you bowled a bad ball, you could still get hit for 6. And that, I guess that's the contest between bat and ball you want on those smaller grounds. Great ground, great place to play, great atmosphere. You wouldn't want to move RCB away from that ground for that reason. But can you find a way to make it more of a contest between bat and ball?
Even the first 2 games, I think the pitch which had something, because it was 175, 180 kind of a pitch, and there was something for the bowlers. But today was
There's a game that KKR
swing.
played where the guys took a lot of pace off the ball, and
it was hitting at top of the bat,
Yes.
and the bowlers were in the game.
Yep.
So I don't mind seeing this. I don't know what the spectators and the viewers think. I don't mind seeing it occasionally, but it shouldn't be the everyday thing.
Yeah.
270, 250,
You want to see, if it is like that, you want to see in the last 4 overs, you want to see some reverse swing. Because that brings it back and makes it a bit more exciting. Batters dominate for 70% of the game, and then reverse comes into play. Unfortunately, we don't see that enough anymore.
If I am to just throw out there, let's say we saw who are your 2 best bowling attacks in the IPL. Is it Rajasthan Royals one of them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rajasthan
With
Royals
Ashwin,
and
Bolt,
Bumrah.
Burger. And what's the other best? Yeah, let's leave Bumrah out, poor fellow.
Chennai?
KKR?
KKR is
KKR maybe with Narayan, Stark, Indian seamers, Chakravarti. Or would you say, maybe if you see sort of 2 of the best bowling attacks here, LSG, if you want to put them in, if you know, then we'll get a fair reflection to see how a strong bowling attack copes with a 6 fest or a boundary fest like this. Would those games have been 260s and 270s, or would they have been?
Mayank Yadav
20s
did
and
bowl
200s?
here, yeah.
Mayank Yadav came here and blew
About
away.
3 wickets, yeah.
So maybe the point, it again brings us back to the beginning. Almost RCB need stronger bowling resources. That is Faf du Plessis' point last game. I wonder what he's saying at the end of this one. But it was a hugely entertaining game from an audience and spectator point of view. We've covered a lot on the admiration of hitting from the Sunrisers, how well they've almost transformed their identity. And it looks like Travis Head is rightly player of the match, even though there have been a number of great innings. Fair enough, Travis Head there?
Unquestionable.
Yeah.
Unquestionable.
I'm happy he's still at the ground. I thought he would have just gone to enjoy some of Bengaluru's lovely Monday evenings. But he's there and he's collecting the award. Right, let's do a rapid fire review. Let's start with you, Mitch. 20 seconds. Rate Travis Head's knock out of 10 and 1.
Well, dominant first and foremost, and it was game-changing. It took the game away from RCB very early on in the piece, and it set a great platform for Raunak Kapoor to come in at 3, which I think was significant.
Okay, Bish, your turn. Lots of time to spare. Is this Hyderabad batting lineup the most dangerous in the league? 20 seconds.
I'm not sure I'm ready to classify it as the most dangerous yet. I think KKR have some really good power at the top in Phil Salt and those guys like Russell and Rinku, and they down the bottom.
Yep.
But they are playing and batting in a way that I think justifies the T20 game.
All right. Wasim, your turn. Is this Bengaluru attack the weakest you've seen in the league?
I think I think so, yes. And they somehow, like today, they had 2 overseas fast bowlers, but the 5th bowler was missing. The spinner is missing. So, yeah, it kind of a weak bowling attack.
All right, back to you, Bish. Could Bengaluru have done anything different to contain Hyderabad's batters? 20 seconds.
Yes, I did. I think we touched on it a little bit, and I'm not saying it's an easy thing, but I thought they could have shifted the line at least for a moment for an over or 2. They did try it a little bit at the back end, go wide of the off stump a little bit more often. That is certainly one area that I would query.
All right. Mitch, 2 for 35 against Mumbai and 3 for 43 today. How is Pat Cummins faring so well in these high-scoring games?
I think Pat Cummins has just evolved his game. He's got incredible cricket IQ, up there with the same cricket IQ that we talk about with Bumrah. So I think smart, and he knows his strengths, but he's also willing to change his plans mid-innings as well.
All right. And this is a fun one. All 3 of you can have a crack. DK or MSD, who should go to the World Cup?
Wasim has to start
you've got 2 keeper spots, don't you? You've got 2 keepers. Just take them both.
Wasim?
I think Sanju and Rishabh Pant.
Wasim is not biting.
He's a serious man. He's a serious man who talks a lot of sense. Unlike whoever drew up that question.
Okay, that is a wrap of rapid fire review of what's been an extraordinary game, one we'll remember for a long time. And now let's see how many of those high scoring players scored big for our panelists as we enter the impact zone. Mitchell McClenaghan with 162.
It's about time. It's about time. Well, I'll tell you what, I was a bit nervous when Lockie Ferguson was going around the park, and then Will Jacks started nicely, but then got a bit of tap, and geez, yeah, it just shows. Travis Head, like mine, you wanted him as well as your wild card.
It's an admirable first day effort.
Yeah,
from
very
Bish,
good,
almost
very good,
within range.
Is this where it stops? You're being nice to me on the first day.
Nah, man, I'm gonna be so nice. I'm gonna ask them to replace that picture of yours with something a little more pleasant. What is that? It's like you've just been asked to do the pitch report of the Chinnaswamy. That's that kind of face. We're gonna change that up. Yeah. We're gonna
hold on. Let's not move on too quick as well, because every single time you get the opportunity, you say you don't come last.
Yeah.
And just if we get that graphic up again, that'd be great. Talk us through it, mate.
Yeah. So well, unfortunately, I went for an RCB bowler. That's it. It's a short story. Nothing against Reese. Lovely guy. That's it. It's over. Anyway. I'm supposed to make you guys look good. That's my primary job. So that's the end of it. Thank you very much, Wasim, Jaffer, and Bishop. Back tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed today.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want to end. I wonder if we can end on something. I want for young viewers watching what Mitch has been talking about is the savviness of bowlers, learning and understanding, and the cerebralness. Far too many of the seamers, I don't think, have yet to exhibit that, but Bumrah and Pat Cummins are good teachers, they are good executors, and they're very savvy. And that's what I take away most of all from tonight's show.
He's awesome.
Isn't it?
He's just awesome. Thanks, Bish. Mitch, thank you very much. And we look forward to your company tomorrow for a top-of-the-table clash. Kolkata Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals. Should be a good one. Build up to that just around the toss. And Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Download the mobile app if you haven't already. There is a lot that will be written and said in the aftermath of this game. Interestingly, it's Glenn Maxwell who's attending the post-match press conference. So we'll see what Maxie has to say about what's been an incredible game, and he had to see that from the sidelines. So, yeah, the Cricinfo app will have you covered, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.